everyone and welcome back to Googie's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis and I post 2 videos a week on a Tuesday and a Thursday at 7 AM. So if you love recipe videos like this one and you want to see more, then I would love you to stick around and become a viewer, so please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And now I'm going to share with you how to make my delicious chocolate, lavender and prune porridge. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make my delicious chocolate, prune and lavender porridge. Now this recipe is really simple and it makes a brilliant breakfast. I love porridge first thing in the morning, and now that winter is setting in and the weather is getting colder, I love nothing more than a big bowl of steaming porridge to kickstart my day. And this one is a delicious recipe. I haven't had this for a while, so I'm really looking forward to this. So while I was making it, I thought I'd share the recipe with you. So here is how to make my delicious chocolate, prune and lavender porridge. To start making this recipe, I'm going to mix my dry ingredients. So in this bowl here, I have about 45 grams of gluten-free oats. You can use ordinary oats. I have a small gluten intolerance. And in the original recipe, this serves 2. So obviously, if you don't want it for 2, then just halve everything like I am today. So I've got 45 grams of gluten-free oats, and I'm going to add about a tablespoon of ground flaxseed to the oats, and I find this just bulks it out a bit, and flaxseed is really good for you as well. It's full of B vitamins and things that we need, so I always like to use it in my porridge nowadays. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a teaspoon of ground sweet cinnamon as well. And ground sweet cinnamon is great for hormones, especially female hormones. In the original recipe I said to use maca powder, but unfortunately I don't have any maca powder, so I'm using ground sweet cinnamon as well. And I use maca powder for the same reason, for my hormones, but ground sweet cinnamon does a similar job, so I'm just going to use that instead. So I'm just going to mix those together. And then I'm going to move on to my wet ingredients now. As I mentioned earlier, in the original recipe it serves 2, but as I'm only making it for myself, I'm going to be halving all the ingredients. So in the original recipe I said to use 8 prunes, but obviously it's only for me, so I'm going to be using 4 prunes. And then I'm also going to add a banana to this recipe, and I'm going to be blending these in my blender as well. So I'm just going to put the banana in now. So I'm just going to break that up and put that in. And then I'm going to be using 200 mils of milk. You can use any type of milk you like. I'm actually using this one by Rude House, and this is a coconut drink, and it just makes the drink really nice and sweet. It just makes the porridge a bit sweet, that's all. So that's why I like to use this. So I'm just going to pour that into my blender as well now. And then I'm going to add about 5 stalks of lavender. I think I said to use 3 to 6 stalks. I really like the taste of lavender, so I've used a little bit more. I do have this growing in my garden as well, but if you don't have it growing in your garden, you could use dried, and I have found it in some supermarkets as well. I found dried lavender, so if you wanted to use dried, then you could. So I'm just going to put those into this as well, and then I'm going to blend the wet ingredients together. Also forgotten to add the cocoa powder, so I've got some raw cacao powder here. You can use cocoa powder if you want to, and you can add this to the porridge or to the blender. I'm going to add it to the blender today, so I'm just going to put a tablespoon of raw cacao powder into my blender, and I'm just going to blend those ingredients together again now. All my ingredients until they are smooth, and it basically looks like a chocolate milkshake. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the wet ingredients onto the dry ones, and I'm going to mix everything together, and then I'm going to put this into the fridge overnight, and I'm going to leave the oats to soak in all of this goodness in this bowl. It smells so good. I could probably eat it right now, I have to say, but I'm not going to. I'm going to save this and I'm going to put it in the fridge, and then tomorrow I will cook it on the stove, but I'll show you how to do that tomorrow. So it's the next day and my porridge oats have been soaking in the fridge overnight, and as you can see they've turned into kind of a mousse consistency. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that into my saucepan, which I've put on my hob, and I'm going to add a bit of water to that as well, just to break it up a little bit. And I've also got some blueberries here, just to add a bit more texture to it. So I'm just going to put in a handful or two of blueberries, and then I'm going to put this onto a high heat, and I'm going to start to stir everything round. During this process I may need to add a little bit more water because the oats do become a bit stiff before the end of the cooking process. It depends. I mean, if you like it quite stiff, if you like porridge quite not so runny, then you can always just not add the water. But personally, I prefer my porridge a little bit runny. And I also like it when the blueberries pop in the pan as well and all the juice comes out. Makes the porridge super tasty. So I'm just going to continue now to keep stirring this. So my porridge has started to thicken. So I just thought I'd share with you what I like to do. So I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit. I did put that on high, so I've just turned it down to a medium heat, and I'm just going to add a little bit more water, and I'm going to mix that in. And sometimes I might do this about 2 or 3 times to get it to the consistency I like. And and I wait for the blueberries, as I mentioned earlier, to pop as well. So they're starting to pop now, and I think this is at a consistency I like. As you can see, it is very warm, this porridge. So I think I'm going to pour it back into the bowl, and I'm going to go and eat it. So that's my porridge done. That's how you make my delicious chocolate, lavender and prune porridge, and that recipe I will link in the description box below. As I mentioned earlier, I'm off to eat this for my breakfast, and as I always say, it smells so good, I can't wait to eat it. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.